Hello BookTube, my name is Elizabeth and welcome to Book Babble. So today I'm going to be doing something a little bit different, even though I've been wanting to do this for a while. Trina from Between Chapters and Kayla Rain, which is also her YouTube name, I will link them both down below if you would like to check them out. They have started a Goodreads group, which I will also link down below, called Monthly Recommendations, where every single month there is a different topic and you make a video recommending books that go with that topic. And I've been wanting to do a underrated books recommendations thing for a while, and that just happened to be their first month topic. So let's just get started. So the first book that I want to talk to you about is called Stitching Snow and is by R.C. Lewis. Stitching Snow is a science fiction retelling of Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs, and it is so good. Anyone who is a fan of the Lunar Chronicles will absolutely love this standalone. It is about a girl, and she's like a mechanic, and she has 7 droids, and each of them have different names. They're not like grumpy and dopey and sleepy like the regular 7 dwarfs, but they have their own names, and this is just a super cute book. I gave it a 5 out of 5 stars. I was so surprised that I enjoyed the book as much as I did, because I was worried that it would pale in comparison to the Lunar Chronicles, but it was just as good. And R.C. Lewis is actually coming out with another book called Spinning Starlight, which is a fairy tale retelling of the swans, something about swans or something or another, and it's a standalone in its own, so like the covers look very similar, but they're each standalones, and I don't know if they're like they take place in the same world, but you don't have to read them together. You can read them separate of one another, and that comes out next month, I believe, and I'm just really excited to read another R.C. Lewis book because Stitching Snow was just amazing. The next book that I want to talk about is Pendragon by D.J. McHale, and this is a middle grade fantasy science fiction which is about a boy. His name is Bobby Pendragon, and one day his uncle, his favorite uncle, comes to him and says, "I need your help," and they go on an adventure through time and space. They basically are what they're called travelers, and the travelers kind of keep the peace among these 10 different territories, they're called, and Earth is a territory, and then there are 9 other territories, and this first one takes place on the territory of Dendron, and it's just a really great series. I might be really biased on this because when everyone was reading Harry Potter, I wanted to go against the grain and read something different, so I read the Pendragon series. There are 10 books in this series, but it is so worth it. So this is like my Harry Potter, because when everyone was like all big on Harry Potter, I was reading this, and this is like my childhood book series that got me into reading, and it's just a fabulous book, and I'm thinking about doing a traveling book for this to get some other booktubers on board and to really let them experience the world of Pendragon, because it is my favorite world. And so what do you guys think about that? Would you guys be interested in me sending out a traveling book for Pendragon? The next book I want to talk about is The Demon King, and it is by Cindy Williams Chima. I have the second book here, which is called The Exiled Queen, and the covers are very similar, and these are very thick books. These are young adult high fantasies. They are super good. This is one of the books that I really feel like you need to go into not knowing much. I will link all of the books that are in my list down below to their Goodreads site, so you can read the description if you like, but there's a lot going on. It's very reminiscent of Game of Thrones, so if you're a fan of Game of Thrones or Fallen Kingdoms, I really think that you will love this underrated fantasy series. It is really one of the best that I've ever read, and Cindy Williams Chima is just an amazing author. I definitely think any lover of fantasy, this needs to be a must read. Next, I want to talk about The Sin Eater's Daughter by Melinda Salisbury. This is also a young adult high fantasy, and Melinda Salisbury, this is her first book, so this is her debut novel, and I gave this a 5 out of 5 stars as well. I'm pretty sure all these books on my list I gave it a 5 out of 5 stars. This is still #1 on my list for favorite books that I've read so far in 2015. I just love it. It is about a girl, her name is Twillia, and she has a deadly touch. The religious system in this book is just so interesting and intricate and intriguing, and I just could not get enough of this series. Thankfully, Melinda Salisbury just said that the second book in the series is going to be coming out spring of 2016, but this book was just absolutely amazing. Again, any lover of high fantasy will absolutely love this book. The next book that I want to talk about is called The Fire Sermon by Francesca Haig. And in this world, basically every single person is born a twin, and in those twin pairs, there is always an alpha and an omega, and all of the omegas have some sort of deformity, whether it be mental or physical. Mostly it's like physical, like they're missing an arm, or their face is deformed, or something to that effect. And as soon as that deformity shows up, sometimes at birth it doesn't show, but as soon as that deformity does show, the omegas are taken away and they are taken to live at a different place. And so, like, all the omegas live in poverty in certain areas, and all of the alphas are able to, marry one another and have kids, and the omegas just can't. And it's about that whole situation. And this twin pair, Alpha and Omega, are trying to fight the system. Basically, I haven't read the book in a while, so I don't know exactly what the plot line follows, but it was just so good. The world in this book is just so unique. I had never read anything like it, and I just really enjoyed it. Next, I'm going to talk about Defy by Sarah B. Larson. This is about a girl, and her name is Alexa, I believe. Basically, when her parents die when she is very young, she disguises herself as a boy along with her brother so that she can go into the king's army. The other choice for that would have been to go basically to like a brothel. Any orphan girls are sold to basically be like whores and to bear children for the elite. And so, in order to escape that, she disguises herself as a boy and goes into the army. And she's extremely powerful. She's one of the best soldiers that the army has. And then one day, her fellow guard, and the prince of the kingdom are all kidnapped. And it is about that story. And she basically finds out a lot of stuff about the prince and the kingdom that she did not know, and their secrets and intrigue. And it is really good. And my last underrated book that I wanted to mention today is The False Prince by Jennifer A. Nielsen. This is about a boy who is growing up in an orphanage, and one day this guy comes and basically buys him off of the lady who owns the orphanage and trains him to become the prince, because the original prince was dead, but the king and queen of the kingdom didn't tell anybody that the heir to their throne had died when he was younger, so they need someone to replace him, so they train him to become the prince. And this was really good. The twist at the end is freaking epic. I loved it so much. This is actually a middle grade fantasy, but it's like right there in the middle. Like, it reads as a young adult, but it really is middle grade technically. But this was just really good. I haven't read the rest of the books in the series, but I'm really looking forward to finishing off the series. I think it's like a 3 or 4 book series. But this book was absolutely epic. Again, I gave it a 5 out of 5 stars. One of my favorites that I read last year. Alright guys, so that is my list of recommendations for underrated books. If you guys have any underrated books you think I might enjoy, comment them down below in the comment section, and I will see you guys in my next video. Bye!